All right, now it's time to add some layers. If you finished the melody, and if you follow the last video, I have two melodies here. You only need one melody. I wanted to give more than one example to how to create a melody. Okay, adding layers. You don't need to include all of the different instruments that I've chosen. You can choose different ones. You can even add ones in addition to the ones that you have. Let's go ahead and do that. The easiest one to do that with is the piano. We're going to touch the icon, the piano icon, just once, hit duplicate. We're going to double tap the MIDI region, the green region there called grand piano. We're going to copy it. We're going to be pasting it onto the second piano here. But before you just hit the screen and hit paste, you're going to want to drag this playhead to the far left. The other way you can go about doing that is by hitting the arrow facing to the left with a line on it. And that also sends the playhead all the way to the left. It's next to the play button. Now we hit this, push paste. We've got the exact same instrument playing the exact same thing. To actually layer something, you're going to double tap on the piano. You're going to hit the grand piano. And now I like to choose Alchemy Synth as my option on the left here. Options can be, you can go with keys and a bunch of different options there. I would avoid leads because we're playing chords right now and leads just don't work well with chords. You can use mallets, organs, pads, and even rhythmic pieces as well. For example, let's go ahead and try one of these out and take a listen to how this sounds. So you can really hear the difference it makes by adding it in versus not having it there. Now let's just solo it for a moment again. So we're listening to only it. I want to show you that if you want to, there's a variety of things that you can choose to do here. You can choose pulsing. There's like 8 different options here. Let's just listen to a couple. I kind of like this one. It's not bad to listen to it by itself, but again, you always want to listen to it in context with everything else by going back here and saying, okay, how does it actually sound with everything? So it sounds pretty good. Now there's one other thing that you can do here too. That's hitting the, I guess, the blue button with on the far right hand side here. If we push that button, we're going to have a lot of options. Now if you put your finger in between all the 4 buttons on the far right side and drag your finger to the left, you're going to see a lot of different options that we can kind of pick between. And we're going to take a listen to how some of them sound when you twist these knobs. The cutoff is a great one to play around with. All of the things on the far right hand side do stuff as well: attack, decay, sustain, release. The only things you need to know is that the attack actually allows the instrument to start playing immediately. If I go like here and I push a note, now if I move this attack all the way to this side and I push down on the note, as you can see, it takes a while for it to actually get loud. And now if we do the opposite with the release, if I turn it all the way to the left, it's going to release the moment I get let go on the keyword here. Now if I add this all the way, take a look, my hand's off of it and it's still playing a very long time there. those are the two that you really want to play around with if you're wanting to like change up the sound and do something creative, using the attack, using the release. And again, it's just by taking your finger, just dragging along here. Other great ones, as you could hear, it was the gated one, right? As I changed this really changed the sound. You can really personalize it. Now that I have this, I feel like this is good to go. And I'm only going to incorporate this in the second half of this song. And we're going to do one more thing. We're going to duplicate this one more time. We're going to paste one more time the original keyboard we had. We're going to go to a third one. You can add more than one layer. We'll go back over here, but this time we're not going to add something rhythmic. We're going to add, let's go ahead and add some mallet of some sort. That one's not my favorite. Okay, let's see how this sounds. I'll go back to wood, but like add a little bit of extra pieces here. All right, I think I have a cool vibe we can go with here. What we're gonna do is we're going to cut down on a number of things here. Let's see here. Let's have the bass guitar come in only in the second half as well. The drums come in only in the second half. What I'm doing now is what's called arranging, where you begin to be purposeful with when you put stuff in. And this one I'll actually loop. I'll have it go the whole time. Some things can go the whole time, some things you kind of cut off. We'll turn the acoustic down a little bit, and we'll take a listen to what this sounds like now. Oh, before I continue, we're going to turn this piano down. What you can do is you click on the icon, the piano icon. I'm going to go to automation this time. This is volume automation. I'm going to go to the top left corner, drag that on. This will now change my volume. I'm going to click anywhere and create a node. And now I'm going to drag my finger down. And I'm going to have it start at maybe like negative 14 over here. And at the end, it's at around negative 9. We'll take a listen. All right, it feels like everything is a little too loud still. Let's get rid of the acoustic even. I really want a quiet vibe here. I really want this metal box to come through. So maybe what we can do too is copy this melody. Actually, let's not duplicate this. Let's duplicate the metal box and then copy the melody from the piano and then paste that over here. The playhead is in the right spot. And then the piano will get layered in later. Now in this case, I will want to delete the first half here. And let's take a listen to how this sounds now. So it's quite sudden there. What I would be doing here is I'd be finding some way to have a little bit of transition going on between 4 and onwards. One thing we could do here is look at some of our loops and see if there's anything within drums or percussion that we could potentially use that could potentially help us out. Sometimes it's like a riser would be the word I'm kind of looking for. Let's see if they have one of those. They do not. What about a cymbal of some sort? Cymbal swell. There's no cymbals. Okay, what if we get rid of the percussion instrument there and then we can type in cymbal one more time here. All right, we got a couple. All right, that's perfect. We're gonna click this, hold it, and then drag it to an open section. I do not want to loop this. We will get rid of the loop. And now we're gonna symbol swell it so that the highest, loudest part is when bar 5 starts. Now let's take a listen to the transition period here. So as you can tell, I'm playing around with the volume until I get it to a place where it sounds a little bit better. It was a little too loud to begin with. Anyways, as you can tell, that is layering and that is even arranging. 2 extra concepts. Oh, and even volume automation. So I taught you 3 new things that you can use to apply to your 8-bar song to make it better.